Dear Mom, things are going really well since I moved to the city. I got a job not long after I arrived and the pay is just fine. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but maybe soon I'll even meet a nice girl and bring her home to meet you and Dad. I live in a place that's nice enough. It's an old building with a lot of stories to tell, I'm sure, about all the people who lived here. Someone said it used to be a big fancy hotel. Someone else said it was a flop house. No one seems to know for sure. I can see across my whole neighborhood on a clear day. There's always plenty going on. I like to watch people from my place. The construction, the traffic, the bums, the workers, the 9-to-5ers. All the places on their minds and space to take up somewhere, but never for any longer than a few moments on any particular place on the sidewalk. Like a stream flowing, the boulevard even leads to the ocean where all the others pour out as well. Its ceaseless rumble as the day goes by. At night, the heat comes back up from the streets where it's been dumped all day long. The night has howls of wolves shaped like homeless, and kids foraging for liquor, or girls, or who knows what. The sky, finally as black as can be from a long day's worth of smog and fumes sent up like our only contribution to whatever lives up there. The city's not so bad, though. People just seem to be set on stupid and fast motion sometimes. Too much to do, and not enough sense or care for one another. Most of the time, cars fill up the streets, all with people that have big, important things they're doing. Maybe with this new job, I can save up some cash and get a car too. I'd imagine I'd have enough things to do, get myself in a hurry as well. I'd be able to leave the bus with its smells, its filthy, slimy seats, sick people who can't speak to each other, instead yelling from time to time about someone or something, usually in the same angry tone, because they're either owed or they'd owe money to someone else. Maybe the radio in my new car will have all the big, important musicians and bands and political talking heads that'll tell me the best ways to live my life. That'd make my busy day a little easier. Maybe if people weren't so busy, they'd see each other. They'd look up and face whoever was next to them. Maybe they'd even see me. By now it's too late. Even if they saw what they were doing to each other or what they'd done so far, they'd never want to see anyone else ever again. For now, I can see everything from up high. I'm out of the way. I don't really want to get in anyone's way or disrupt the natural flow down there. They seem to have been getting along just fine before I got here. Besides, it's easier to make up his little stories or fantasies about everyone without ever finding out the truth. That'd be too messy, too complicated, probably too boring. I can figure out all I need to know about someone just by watching them from up here. What kind of car they have, what kind of stores they drive to, if they honk or flip someone off when they get cut off in traffic. It can be pretty enjoyable to study these little things people do. Besides, even if I did try to talk to anyone else down there, what if they didn't want to hear it? Then I'd be right back where I started, so what's the point? I had a dream the other night where I fell into a big river, and there were all these other people that I'd fallen into. We were all whirling around and flowing, and then everyone began turning into little pebbles, rounding off with each bump and collision with one another. I tried my hardest to hold on to a tree branch that had fallen into the river just before a big fall, where all the other pebbles were flowing over the edge. Eventually the tree branch broke off and I was hurled towards the edge of the fall. The last second, before I could see down to the fate of all the pebbles, I woke up. For now, I'm up high looking down. Maybe I'd get a better look from down there. But for now, I'll keep my view, my stories and narratives. The people, how they fit into the buildings, and the places they live, the work, and eat, and sleep, and die. I hope everything's fine at home. Send my love to the family. I'll send money or as much as I can when I get some. Tell Dad hi for me. I feel nothing. I feel all things, like a reflection of myself, turned away in the opposite direction. A clear distinction between myself and those outside. My thoughts wander aimlessly on the judgments of others, their desires, their disdain, their hatred, away from it all,
I can avoid scrutiny, let them pick each other apart, save myself. I build a fortress, a castle, away from them, inside myself. I sink in, alone, dislocated from the world, to keep my thoughts at bay. But the deeper I go down, the more I've cornered myself in. My dreams are plagued with destruction, desolation, a bright spark, bomb, leveling the buildings, cars, streets, people, reduced to rubble and ash. I alone weave through the rubble searching, but for what? The same filth and disease and fear and judgment I sought to avoid. Other dreams ratchet and clank, with repetitive machinery harmonious in its efforts to complete simple tasks. Up and down, back and forth, cogs and conveyors, in precision until a hand or a foot falls in and the pieces jam up, exploding and shooting parts in all directions from the clog. I reject myself simultaneously, unable to escape. I pick myself apart until there's nothing left but a hollow space, frightened by the light and my own shadow. The dreams transform now to darkness, little particles in space, carelessly floating in no particular direction, but all directions, to no order, but chaos, no rules or meaning, no arbitrary functions or process, purity, the lack of structure broken down into an original state of nothing, no joy, no pain, no need. But from all these thoughts, I'm left with no solace, no answer, no meaning, no care, no fulfillment, no direction, no feeling, but a numb, cold malaise, a fog that neither illuminates nor blinds me. I know this fog houses only myself, and this new comfort and fear emerges. I find someone else's handwriting in my journal. It reads, "The mouth lately has been too much in service, too little coming out of use to anybody. A defense. Oh God, they really are getting to me. Please, I don't want to pontificate this way. I know what my voice sounds like. I heard it years ago. Too high, obnoxious, how they must wince inside whenever I begin to speak. I could go tomorrow. I know how to be alone. It doesn't frighten me as much as they do. They take endlessly, but they never use what they take. What do they think they can take from me? They don't want my patriarchy. They don't want my love. They don't want my information, or my work, or my energy, or what I own. I don't own anything. If I left them, where would I go? I read it and retreat back to my dreams, back where I know